Wonderful. Well, just Daniel, I know we've kind of met through text and stuff, but I wanted to formally introduce myself. I'm Rebecca Stengel, and your mom and I have been talking a lot about you.
Thank you.
So, yeah, she's told me all about your venture to go on to be a professional golfer. That's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. How did you get into golf, Daniel?
Well, back in back in 2020, when COVID starts, I asked
Mm-hmm.
my dad to learn to play golf, and we practice. And after that, we have a coach. His name is Tony at the Orange County National. It's a golf at lunch. It's like a hotel or
Mm,
motel, and we play there and practice there.
wonderful. What's your favorite part about golf?
That's easy. Driver.
Yes,
Getting the driver. Yes.
that's my favorite part too. My least favorite is chipping.
Uh, short game.
Yes, I'm not very good at it. Maybe someday I'll meet you and you can teach me.
Okay.
Wonderful. Well, I just wanted to have you guys on because I want to share with everybody on our Facebook group kind of about your journey and your story, Daniel, and your mom's story and journey as well, because you both have gone on a long one, right? And together you were able to grow into something pretty amazing. So
Yes.
I just want to make sure I say your name right. It's Naja?
Yes.
Is that
Perfect.
perfect? Good. Wonderful. Well, for everybody that's kind of watching, we're just going to kind of just walk through kind of how your life went and kind of you're going to share kind of with me and everybody else in the group about maybe some struggles you've had, your successes and things like that. So I'll just kind of lead you along with some questions. And if we take some tangents, that's okay.
Yes.
We have 40 minutes, so if we need to ever revisit, we can revisit as many times as we want, because I would love to be able to share all different parts of your story. Wonderful. So the first thing, I guess, Naja, this would be a question for you. Do you want to share us a little bit about what you think are Daniel's unique qualities or his strengths? Like what makes him special? Like what makes him stand out to you?
For the last 4 years, 3.5 years, Danny has flourished so much. You've changed a lot. He's a hard worker. He's very determined. So
Mm-hmm.
finally, after so many years of us trying to find something to get him excited about, we finally found it, and that was golf. Because Danny is not a teenager anymore. So we went through the phase of trying to find out what's going to happen after high school. Will he ever be able to have a job? All of that, and then finally, we found something. And
Yes.
he's very determined, which is really, really good.
Yes.
He's a hard worker.
Yes, that is awesome. So, Daniel,
Hmm?
before golf, are there any things you like to do?
Oh, that's a good question. What I like to do? Wait, you said you like. You said
I said,
before you
I
did
said
golf.
before you found golf,
Before.
was there anything that you like to do, or is it was you're just kind of going through life?
well. I'm going through a life of stuff. I like golf. I like to watch movies
Mhm.
and hang out with my family, hang with my friends, and of course, hang out with my daddy a lot.
Very cool. I love that. Wonderful. So,
So
Nadia, what
before
were some of
golf,
the
he did it.
early signs that you saw when you were that showed that Daniel had autism? Like, when did you know and how did you know?
When Danny turned 2 years old, basically Danny started developing typically just like any other child.
Mhm.
And one day he stopped babbling. We noticed something. He was not following along what when you go to the pediatrician before they turn 1 and they can
Mhm.
do all this checklist, what your baby should be doing now. And my
Mhm.
baby was really, really fine.
Okay.
We moved to another city, so I had to take him to a different pediatrician to start new. And she asked me certain questions. So I believe that she noticed something. And she asked me, and then out of nowhere, without any testing, that's the first time that I heard the word autism. I didn't know what it was. And then from there, I mean, I knew that he was delayed. He never crawled. When he finally started walking, he was on his tippy toes. He was not, like I said, he was not babbling. He was not giving eye contact. No waving, bye-bye. All of those cute little things that the babies do before they turn the year-old mark. And then he started getting on these crazy tantrums, and everybody kept on telling me, oh, those are the terrible twos, it will go away. But they were more than tantrums. It was like a cry for help. And he was not able to do anything but to cry and hitting himself. It was frustrating for him.
Yeah.
It was more frustrating for me to see him doing that and me not knowing what to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, because there is a difference between tantrums and what we call meltdowns, right?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
it's hard to separate them. And they look like tantrums. And then once you really get to know what autism is and you get to know your child, you realize that it's really something much, much bigger than you could have ever thought.
Yes.
Yeah. So how old was Daniel then when he was actually diagnosed with autism?
2.5.
2.5. And then how
Years
did
old.
that change kind of your perception of what autism was?
Well, I had two options. I had the option to accept it or cry forever. I was very young when I had him, and we were in a different city. We lived in California at the time. We're so blessed that at that time, California was one of the top places
Yep.
with all autism research. Remember, there was no Google then.
Right.
Yeah, there was nothing. And
Right. It's very different. It's come a long way.
yes. So I knew, because one of the things the pediatrician told us, well, maybe he's not speaking because he can hear now. He did a little surgery with tubes in his ears. And the ENT told me, oh, Mom, don't worry about it. Just give him 3 months. He's going to catch up again because he doesn't speak. He forgot to speak, but he can hear. And I hold on to that promise, like any mom.
Yep.
And 3 months went by, 6 months went by, and my baby was speaking.
Right.
And then that's when, the pediatrician, they were wonderful. And then she told me, okay, we're going to go to a team of doctors, OT, speech, and they did the whole intervention type meeting. And that's when we got the actual diagnosis. And I knew I was not under any denial. I knew that my son was not following through like any other typical child. And once I got the diagnosis, all I did was, okay, well now, how can I help?
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a long journey to try to find the right resources within the area that we live. I had to move again, but I did it because I knew I had to get the assistance that my son needed.
Yeah, so you and I had talked briefly one other day, and I would love for you to just kind of share with everybody kind of that path you took with Daniel, because you didn't just let autism control Daniel or yourself. You guys really stepped in and took hold of it, and you took advantage of the resources around you, and you also did a lot as a parent to help Daniel grow. Do you want to share a little bit about those things?
Yes, absolutely. So it was really hard at the time because Danny was he was a really picky eater, just like any of our kids with autism. They have their favorite food, and they they don't want to try anything new. So Danny and I had to bargain a lot to get him to try different things. I usually will take him. Danny ate McDonald's every single day, right, baby?
Yeah.
For about 3 years. And I know, we would go, we had a whole routine, right? Because if we didn't follow the routine, then it's be a meltdown. But we had it down to the T. And I do remember feeling so guilty. I was like, this person from the drive-thru and seeing every single day ordering the same thing.
Yep, yep.
They're gonna think that I'm a bad mom. I don't know how to cook or anything. But anything to make him comfortable, and then just to to give him what he needed. However, I knew he was growing up, and I wanted him to try different things. How was I going to be able to do that? Because Danny was not even eating at his middle school because he was so used to the same food all the time. And we started taking him to the Asian buffet because there's a whole variety of food. We would go during the day when there was nobody there, right after the lunch rush, because in case he was putting himself on the ground and started screaming, yelling. But we will try to eat, pick one item in each little area, hot area, and we put on a plate. And little by little, it took a long time. I'm not saying this happened overnight. But we were able to jump to the next step, getting him to try new things. I mean, I even started cutting his hair myself because the kid, this kid.
He didn't like that, huh?
He did not like that. I had to shut all the windows. Thank God I didn't have next door neighbors who could put the pups up, and he was screaming. And then it's understanding, but I was, as he was learning, I was learning himself because I had nobody to kind of ask for assistance. I remember my family when I told them, I shared that, oh my goodness, Danny has autism. The first thing that my own mother said to me, oh, I know so has a daughter that's thinking like, wow, you had her hands full forever. So it was like, oh, thank you so much. You're giving me much hope, but our kids are a blessing, and we don't probably understand at the time, but I really believe that we're special.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why it's called autism. Do you know that, Daniel? It's because you are awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you remember those years, Daniel? Do you remember how hard it was to learn to eat new foods and being so frustrated and upset, or does it not really?
I think I got frustrated when she in California when she buy me some Lunchables.
Yeah, and you didn't like that, huh? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Was it because you think you were just scared of trying something new, or was it just because, that was the biggest thing is fear?
It's fear, trying something new, yes.
Yep. Very good. So, what have you learned about parenting and being resilient as you've raised Daniel? Because, like you told me, it took a long time, right? And it wasn't like you just introduced something and it was magic the next day. You had to be consistent. And so, what did you learn through that whole process?
I mean, we learned, Danny and I were we were together by ourselves for a very long time. And I decided to have a child. I got the diagnosis. I was at the end of the world. But I knew I had to fight a lot to get him the services and then to help him out. I became my son's only and best advocate. I'm very happy for the assistance that we got through the school system. So there's so many children. At that time, there were not that many really fully diagnosed because you have the misconception of many parents.
It was new.
Well, you know what? It was new. It's just delayed. He will catch up. Maybe you can put him a little preschool. He's an only child, and he will learn or he will imitate. I have to.
So how did you handle those social misconceptions, right? Where society is like kind of pushing their own vision or their own ideas on you. How did you handle that as a mom?
I had to ignore it. I had to ignore it. And then just to, I mean, Danny is older right now. He still cannot tie his shoes. You know, I knew that we had a long road ahead of us. And this is not over. I mean, this is an everyday, constant. We plan everything. It's a lot of work. But I didn't, I mean, even Danny started talking when he was 10. So I had to learn sign language to communicate with Danny because that's how they taught him to do basic communication in school. So I had to go at nighttime for sign language to make sure that we kind of communicate. And it was wonderful. But like I'm telling you, Rebecca, I mean, I know it is scary, but it's not an item that I bought in the store, anything that I can return. You know, I have to deal with it. But then crying about it or being depressed about it because of many hopes and dreams I have for our children, right? Because I couldn't, you know, maybe because I'm extra strong, but I cannot do it. I couldn't. I mean, I didn't have a shoulder to cry. I had to kind of push myself through, and then I guess that's why he's so successful right now, daily, because I never treated Danny like a special needs kid. I know his limitations, of course. I never babied him. You know, I try not to. I believe that that's one of the things that when I first started getting to know about the diagnosis and they told me you get involved in support groups with other moms, I came out of that depressed because I could not believe, you know, that I know it's sad, I know it's hard, but you know what? I don't belong here. It's gonna make me more depressed. Now I see all the resources and I am, wow, oh my gosh, you know, these parents are so blessed to have so many resources. They have people like you know, that's gonna talking about it and getting all the things that these parents need. Because at first, when the kids get diagnosed, it's really hard. We're lost. We don't know. So what's going to happen? Is he ever going to speak? Is he ever going to be able to know that I'm mom, or I'm just this person that's feeding me? You know?
Yeah, I think that's a really common fear amongst parents. What I love about what you've done, Nadia, though, is you've really shown us how he really, in those early years, he didn't talk, and it was a lot of meltdowns, and it was a lot of the unknowns. And now I want you to share a little bit where Daniel's at, like what Daniel, you're going to jump into here. I want you to share about this new piece about you becoming a golfer and maybe what your dreams are and how hard maybe, Daniel, it was for you to even, as much as you like golf, I'm sure it was tough to learn, right? And then you have your mom and you have your coaches. Could you share a little bit about that?
Sure.
You want me to talk or you want to talk?
No, you talk.
Okay.
So Danny is, when he in high school, we knew that it was going to be more difficult because now he's going to start improving like an adult. It doesn't matter if he was on a different classroom, but high school is, you know, big population. And my biggest fear was, oh my God, the bullying, the segregation. So we went through the VR. I know certain states, they don't have a good VR. The vocational
rehab.
And I started it very early. I put Danny on a waiting list for 4 years.
Very smart.
I wanted to be, I knew he was going to grow. I know he was going to turn 18 and then. So through the VR, we getting into a program to, it was like a ticket to work, I think it was called, and he started to get training. And it was training in the workforce. I didn't know Danny was ever going to be able to get a job anywhere. I just wanted him to, if he learned how to do dishes as a dishwasher somewhere back in back, for me, that was his final skill.
Yep.
He taking turns situations, listen, pay attention, know his boundaries. Those were one of the things that we struggle a lot to try to teach him the whole personal space, because
Yep.
they are very hungry.
Yep.
They,
Mm-hmm.
and now, I mean, you see him, he's really, really good. But at the very beginning,
Yep.
it was really,
Yeah.
really
Took
hard.
a lot of
It
training.
took a lot of training. And when COVID hit, Danny was on his after high school program here in Florida, and he was so happy because he was placed in a hotel, and he was doing room service and back at the house.
Ah.
And then COVID hit, and the whole program was leaving.
Oh,
Then
well, that
how
had to
you
have been really
explain?
hard, huh, Daniel? To all of a sudden have
Yes.
something you love and then all of a sudden it just goes away.
Yes.
Very hard. Okay.
And getting him into a routine and do everything virtual. It was really hard, being able to see the people and engage with his co-workers, because obviously, they work together.
Yeah.
But one day he said he would like to, he loved to watch sports. He was never interested in playing any sport. Out of nowhere, he said he would like to play golf one day. And sure, his dad and I are like, oh yeah, of course. And we're looking for mini golf. We're like, no, don't do mini golf. Golf, like Tiger Woods, like
I
Phil
love it.
Mickelson. That golf.
I love it. Oh,
And we didn't know how to even start. And
right.
we are so fortunate. We called the first place that we called, which is a place here in Orlando, Bridgetown National School. And the head pro, his daughter has autism. So
okay.
when Danny's dad said, hey, I just want to know, how can we arrange a one lesson? So to get him in the basics, just to get his mind of it. Because one thing about my son and many kids with autism, they say, yeah, I want to try it. When it's too difficult, they give up, right?
Yep.
So that was the plan. The plan was to get one lesson down. It's going to be too much for him, and then he will stick with the mini golf.
Okay.
But not this guy. Not this guy.
Nope.
He was pretty much a natural from the very beginning. We couldn't even imagine that was a possibility because of the fine motor skills. Rebecca, you played golf,
right.
you know.
There's a lot that goes into golf.
It's a lot. And then just to see him the way he is, then we were like, okay, well, we need to see how can we get him involved in something. He can feel like he's learning, he's competing. That's when Special Olympics came along. We reached out to Special Olympics, and Special Olympics usually they start on skills and then they they go level to level. But Danny started on the 18 hole, which it's kind of unheard of. And it was the 2022 USA Games, which the team was already being picked. Because of COVID, it was already selected 2 years prior.
Wow.
And Danny was determined. He's like, I am going to compete on the USA Games. So we're like, Danny, that is already been kind of built set already. I'm going to train. I'm going to be in the USA Games.
Good for you, Daniel.
Thank you.
We opened so many doors. Danny was on the news 7 different times, on 7 different platforms, showcasing his talent. And USA Games happened in June of 2022. He was chosen to be part of the Florida team in May.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And, right, baby?
Yeah.
Remember? You want to tell them what happened? When they tell us that you were part of the USA Games?
Yes, I am part of Team Florida. Sorry, I'm part of the Team Florida USA Games in golf.
And what happened?
And I won a second place on the silver medal.
Wow. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Very good. Yes. How did that make you feel?
Happy.
Yeah, I bet you were
Mm,
really happy, huh?
mm,
Super
Yeah.
cool. Awesome. So what now is Daniel's next thing in golf? Because like you told me, he's going to be touring and things like that. So what's like it looking for you now?
So Danny's now part of
Mm,
the
Mr. Flutie Foundation.
Foodie
Okay.
Foundation. They have a tour,
Okay.
tour lead, and it's called Starts on the Spectrum Golf Tour. And they scouted him through his Instagram because this guy had thousands of followers.
Yeah, I've seen your Instagram. It's incredible.
And so they reached out to us, and then we said yes, of course. Um, the tour started in, I think it was last year, but then we were fortunate to say yes and get him involved. And he went to Boston, right?
Yeah.
In August.
Okay.
Completely different because this is a Special Olympics. This is a real deal kind of thing. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we have to.
Yeah.
He had his handicap card and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and so but really starting in 2025, he's going to two different cities. And the first city is here in Orlando in January. So he'll be right here at
Wow.
home.
Yes, exciting. Yeah,
And
you'll
on
have
that
to
tournament,
share
he
with
came second
us.
place.
Oh, yes, yeah. You'll have to share with us the list of cities that he's going to be at. So that way, if any of your followers are in that area, maybe they could come out and watch you. And if you ever made it up this way, I could even come and watch you. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
wonderful. Yeah. So, Naja, how has Daniel's success? You've gone from having a child in the beginning, not knowing what to do, not having resources, and then just trying to figure things out on your own. And I love what you said about the biggest thing you did was you didn't treat him differently. You treated him just like every other mother would treat a child with expectations, but it just took longer, more perseverance, maybe even more love, more,
Yes.
more nights of tears or whatever it was. But now you see the success that he's having. How does that make you feel?
You know what? It's I really didn't know that Danny's story was so unique or wonderful until all of the great things, that I see him accomplish nowadays. Danny has a real job right now. He works part-time for a supermarket called Publix. They're really big here in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really, really inclusive. And however, when he was hired, he spoke and his dad, he was the manager. They said no accommodations for them. Danny, through the VR, he knows how to do bagging, he knows how to follow directions, because Publix was not his first job, but yes, his first paying job.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we said, he's going to be treated just as any other employee. If he does something wrong, we need to make sure that he knows. One time he had a situation with some customer because he bagged the eggs.
Yeah.
He bagged the eggs where
On
they're
the
not
bottom.
supposed to. And then, and then the customer complained. So the manager called us and told, hey, I just want to let you know that we told this today. I want you to
Mm-hmm.
feel bad about it and stress about it because Danny takes his job very seriously. I said, well, great. Well, he needs to learn. We went through training.
Yeah.
And the training, they told you that the eggs go separate. You don't put no eggs in no meat.
Mm-hmm.
Now.
Yeah.
But it is every day, every single day, we talk about everything. We talk
Yep.
about the schedule. We have a routine. We just had a
Mm-hmm.
hurricane this
Yep.
past week, and it was really
And I
hard
bet that
on
was
him.
difficult. Yes.
It was really hard on him
Mm-hmm.
because they all know, the news kind of get them very, very nervous.
Mm-hmm.
And even last night and today, we lost power in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It's hard. So
And all those
because
disruptions, they're hard.
they are used to their routine. He has his
Yep.
routine. what's going to happen if the power goes up? I'm not going to be able to watch the Golf Channel as he's doing all day long,
Yeah.
or on his phone, or engaging with his social media friends as he calls them.
Yes. Yes.
How about if you lose the house? How about if you have to move?
Mm-hmm.
So in their mind, it's bigger,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
The
Mm-hmm.
picture is bigger and this tragedy and everything.
Yeah. Is a key part of all this, not just for you, also to just to stay really calm and be
Oh, yeah.
very specific about what's going on, because
Mhm.
I've realized, at least in my experience, if we let ourselves get ramped up and out of control, that makes it harder on them because they rely on us to be calm and to be assured and help them reconfigure their schedule and their routine.
I am his safe zone. I am his therapist, his advocate, his nurse, his mom, his
Yep.
best friend. And I just want to make sure that he understands
Mm-hmm.
that changes happen,
Yep.
that life happens, the biggest thing that we're going through right now is the fact that, like any young man, he
Mhm.
sees couples, he wants to know if he will
Yeah.
ever be able to have a special somebody,
Yep.
and then it's a way to try to make him understand that there's
Mhm.
a somebody for everybody somewhere
Yep.
in
Yep.
the world, and he
Yep.
knows that that special person will come,
Mhm.
and the main thing is just to there might be somebody as special as he is waiting for somebody else,
Yep,
special.
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you've already come so far, Daniel, and you've overcome so many hurdles. What is your goal for yourself, Daniel, in the next several years, whether it's in golf or work or whatever? What do you want? Like, let's think just in 5 years. What do you have? What dream do you have for yourself in golf?
Maybe I can live with my dad, like into the golf in a country club.
Okay.
Oh, you want to do the country club golf like things? Yeah, the
Yes.
tournaments and things with
Yes.
everybody, right?
And what else you always say? What do you want to be?
Professional.
You want to break into the professional golf tour. Well,
Yeah.
I think you're going to do it. I have faith in you, Daniel. We only have a few more minutes left before we get cut off, but the one thing I did want to ask before we go is what message would you share with parents around the world about about having children with autism and their potential?
Never give up. My main thing also is don't wait. Don't wait.
Mhm.
Acceptance. We know we don't have to compare our kids with other kids,
I love
but
that.
we know that if our kid is a little behind, sit down. Sometimes our own family just pulled us back, say, "Oh no, boys are a little slower than girls," and no, as a mom, as a caregiver, that if the baby is behind in certain things, seek the help immediately. Immediately. Don't wait, because the earlier they start getting the services, the better it is for them. I'm not promising anybody that their kid will be a golf or basketball superstar or neurosurgeon or anything like that. But my main goal is to make sure that my son has the basic skills, so when the day I'm not here anymore, he can at least survive.
Yes.
Even if he's going to be living with others with the same kind of intellectual
Yep.
similarities,
Yeah.
But I want to make sure that he knows how to do his clothing, how to do his laundry. He's much of a microwave person. He don't cook, but he knows how to order Uber Eats. And then,
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
and then he don't want to drive, but there's always Uber. And it's just,
Learning
these
when you
type
can't do something, what's that replacement thing? Yeah.
absolutely. And guardianship.
Yes.
Guardianship.
Yep.
Don't wait too long. Different states are harder than my kids than others. And
Yep.
as soon as Danny turned 18
Be
years
involved in
old,
that.
I was very involved. I don't want him to be friends with somebody that is 16 years old and then think that he's being inappropriate when it's not. They're just so innocent. right? They just want to
Mm-hmm.
be friends. And it's costly, but we save for it.
Yep.
You know,
I love it.
legal guardianship is the main thing. With that
Yep.
little kid that is 5 now, time flies. It'll
It
be 18
does.
before you know it.
Yep.
And then we want to have, I don't want my child to be going to the doctor and the doctor talking and ignoring, because that's what they
Mm-hmm.
do.
Right.
They're an adult, right?
Yep.
So,
Yeah. And getting involved with that, sometimes getting those services through your state or your county are difficult, but don't give up on it. Like stay on them, right? Because
stay on it.
it's important to get those services. And if you don't do it, no one will. And it's so,
Waiting list. Waiting
yeah,
list. The waiting list is 10 years. Okay,
yeah, yeah.
put him down.
And get them on that list. Yeah.
Get him on that
Oh,
list.
wonderful. Well, Nadia, you are such a great advocate for Daniel. And Daniel, I'm so excited that I got to meet you too. And I
Thank
can't
you.
wait to watch your journey in golf. And maybe we can talk again sometime and do this again because I think your story is super special. And I think you have a lot to share with other families and you can really inspire them and give them hope. So I just want to say thank you for joining me today. And
Thank
Nadja,
you.
I'll be in touch with you through email and stuff,
Absolutely.
and we'll
Thank you
connect
so
again.
much.
And I'll make sure I share this with you. But I really appreciate it.
And he's a little shy because I forgot to tell him that he's going to be on the Zoom. So I can tell
That's
him, okay, by the way.
Can I share your Instagram page, Daniel, along with the video? Is that okay?
Yes.
Perfect, because I think other people would love to follow along with you as well. So
Thank you so much,
wonderful. Well,
Rebecca.
stay safe. I hope your electricity stays on and we will
Yeah, me
talk
too.
soon. Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Okay,
Bye.
See you
bye-bye.
later.
Thank you, you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.